Hi friends, today we are going to learn what is a class in Java. Actually, these classes are only for the testers who are learning the Selenium. So we are going to class. Um, okay, today's session is for class. Okay, this is the definition of the class. One second. A class is a collection of the data members and the member methods. Okay, the process of binding the data members and associated methods in the same unit is called a class. Then here, what is a data members? Here, what are the data members? Here, the data members are nothing but the variables. Okay, variables may be static variables or or sorry, non-static variables. But here we are talking about data members means variables. Okay, or they are also called as properties. Okay, or attributes. Okay, there are different names for this. Okay, and here the member methods are the methods or the functions, okay, or the actions. Okay, so here the definition says that it is a collection of data members and the member methods. Okay, uh, we'll see what actually the definition says in the real time. Okay, uh, is it really making sense or not? Okay, and here the second definition is the process of binding the data members and the associated methods in a single unit. Both are both are same. Okay, so this definition we will be seeing while doing a program. Okay, you noted down this definition. Okay, here the data members are the variables and the methods are nothing but the functions. Okay, or the actions. Then there are some of the uh, key things that we have to learn and we will be seeing in the program. First one is the class is a keyword which is used for developing programmer defined data types and develop real world applications. Okay, here it is saying that the class is a keyword which is used for developing programmer defined data types. Okay, what are the programmer defined data types? We'll see what are those things and why it is called as programmer defined data type. Okay, next thing is variable. Okay, variable declaration represent the data members of a class and they are always meant for placing the value and they will be selected based on the class name. Okay, here in the definition we already told you that the class is a collection of data members or the variables, collection of data members and the methods. Here, a variable declaration represents the data member. Okay, data members of the class and then they will always meant for placing the variables or always meant for placing the value. Okay, variable contains values. Okay, and the value we can how can you get the value of the variable through the class name? How we are going to get it in the what you call in the program? We'll see that. Methods definition represents the list of methods mentioned. Okay, meant for performing different types of operations on the data. Each and every method of Java must be defined inside the class definition only. Okay, as I already told you that the class is a collection of data members and the methods. So this means that we have to define a class within the, oh, sorry, we have to define a method within the class only. Outside the class, we can't define a method. Okay, uh, how it will be, I will be showing you. And here the definition. Okay, uh, okay. This is what is the method. Method is always method contains always the logic. Okay, logic and how the logic will be executed by using by using the data members or by using the variables. Okay, this is also we are going to see. at present you note it down. Then the definition of the class must be incorporated within the open and close flower brackets, and the definition of the class may or may not terminated by a semicolon. Okay, this is what this also we are going to see. Okay, then we are going for the syntax. Syntax of class is class name, open brackets, close bracket. That is what the last point is saying, that the class definition must be incorporated within the open and close flower brackets. And here inside that we will be having the variable declaration as well as the method definition. Okay, the methods and the variables, all those things has to be declared and used within the class only. With outside the class we can't use it in Java. Okay, this is the syntax. Class, here the class is the keyword, and you have to mention the class name and open and close brackets. Within that we have to write, we have to declare the variables, and we have to write our logics of the program in the methods. Okay, logic should be written in the methods only, not in the class. Okay, inside the class but inside the method. Okay, this is some of the example. Okay, here the student is the class name. They are the variables or the properties or the data members or the attributes or the fields. Okay, they are different names. Okay, variables or the properties or the data members or the attributes or the fields. Here they are some of the methods or the actions or the behavior or the functions. The most commonly we will use functions, but in Java, the terminology most of the time we will be using as methods. Okay, in the same way here for the data members, most of the people are using as properties, but we will be using as variables only. Okay, no need to confuse. Okay, this is what it is, and now we are going to uh, learn these things in a programmatic way. How, what are these points? Is their points really true or not? We are going to see it. Uh, I am using Eclipse for it. Here, if you are using a notepad for learning Java, actually I told you that this video is for only for the testers who are learning Selenium. So most of the testers they will use Eclipse for this. They will not use any other editor most of the time. So first we will create a project. Right click on the project explorer, projects, or you can go from others. In the others you can go for Java projects or simply Java projects. Okay, next I am giving some name over here. Uh, so project sample or project class. Sorry, not this, class. Finish. Okay, this I already explained you that this is if I wanted to change the view or the perspective, I can change it by clicking open perspective. But here I don't want to change my view or the perspective. I am using the default view, that is the Java EE view. So I am clicking on no. Here the Java project has been created. Okay, here Java files, Java library or Java jars has been added to my project. And this is the src folder or the source folder where actually I am going to write my script or programs. So here in src folder I am not directly creating a class, but I am creating a package, and inside that package I will be creating my class. So right click on src folder, new package. Packages are nothing but the modules uh, in a project. So I am saying mod 1, some module. Okay, finish. And again, inside this package, I'm going to create my class. Okay, here we don't no need to worry about the syntax of the class and all those things because when I'm creating a class in Eclipse, it will be created by its own. Okay, uh, no need to worry about the syntax. Okay, see, but if you are using a notepad, we have to explicitly, I means create the class. I mean, you have to write the code for that. But here, Eclipse is helping us. See how it is. Right click, new, second, class. So here I am going to give the class name. So class, here it is showing if I am giving a class as a class name, see it is showing an error message because a class is a keyword you can't use directly. If I am saying class 1 or student class, if I am saying student, okay, student student is the class. Here I'm giving student as the class name. See, here it is giving some warning because I am not following the naming convention. Naming convention says that each and every, sorry, each first letter of every word of a class name must be capital. Means that S should be capital. Okay. Now the error means the warning has gone. So I want the main function. So I want main function in my class name. Sorry, in my student class. So I am clicking here. Okay. Suppose you forgot here to click here. Okay. Then how you are going to write it? Okay. Finish. We'll see that also. Okay. Here it is. Package class has been created. In that class, see uh, class name. Class should be the class definition should be within the closed and open. Sorry, open and closed flower brackets. Here it has been shown that. Okay, I forgot to write the main function. So here I have to write the main function. So there is a shortcut for this. MA control space enter. Okay, so we got the main function. If you forgot while declaration means while declaration of the class, then we can go for this. Okay, or otherwise if you remember this all those things, you can remember public static void main. In that the arguments string arguments has to be passed. You remember this well and good. Otherwise, the shortcut is MA and you have, sorry, MA and you have to write uh, control plus space. Okay, and you have to enter it, then you will get it. Okay, this is the shortcut. Uh, Later, okay, this is the student class. The student class contains the main function and the statements which are present in the main function will be executed. Okay, so what I told you that the class contains class is a collection of data members and methods. So we will be declaring uh, one or two variables or the data members, and we will be writing one method. Okay, so how to declare a variable? In my previous class, I told you how to declare a variable. Okay, so here uh, what variable I have to declare? Okay, let name name is a variable. Okay, this is the data member which I am declaring. While learning, it is better to follow right to left, either right to left, okay, by declaring. Okay, okay, this is the name, and this is the name which is showing the error message because I have not mentioned the rest of the things, that is the data type and so on, data types and all. So we have to think, okay, name is a string, so I have to declare a data type string. Okay, and I wanted I this name is a static variable or non-static variable. It's a non-static variable because uh, in student class names will be changing from student to student, so it is non-static. So I am not using static keyword over here, so it is by it will be taking it as non-static. And I wanted to use this variable in my entire project, so I am writing it as public. In this way you have to think, okay, a variable name, then the data type. Then we have to think, okay, this variable name is changing uh, from object to object, or it will be remaining the same for all objects. We have to think in that way. If it is same for, if the value of the variable is same for all the objects, then we have to write static over here. But here name will be changing from object to object, from student to student, name will be changing. So I am taking it as non-static. So if it is non-static, no need to write non-static over here. If you are leaving it like this, means it will be taking it as non-static. If you are not writing static, means it will be treated as non-static. Okay, then public. Public means I wanted to use this variable in my entire project. That's why I have written public over here. So next thing, and I will be taking another variable such as marks, total marks. Okay, so first marks. Marks is the variable name, and the marks will be. So let me take it as integer. Okay, most of the marks will be float, but here I am convenience sake taking it as integer. And these marks are also non-static, so I'm not writing static over here. And these marks I wanted to use in my entire project, so public. Okay, this is how the data members are being defined, or the variables are being declared. Okay, so these are the data members, not declaration of the data members. Data. Okay, data member. They are the data members, declaration of the data members. Then, okay, so class contain the data members and the methods. The main is also a method. So this is the main method, but I wanted to declare my own method also. How to declare a method. Methods are also being declared within the class. Okay, what the class definition says that the class is a collection of data members as well as the methods. So these are the open and close bracket. This is the what is the definition. Within this definition only we have to write the method. So here I am declaring some method, and let it be the method is to uh, print the name as well as the marks. I wanted to print name and marks. So uh, print print is method. You can give any name. I have given print. Then okay, this is the open and close brackets. This represents as a function, and function will have some logic. So flower brackets closed and flower brackets open and close flower brackets. So this is the function name, and this is for parameter passing, but I am not passing any parameter over here. and this is the law. In this open and close brackets we have to write the logic. Okay, but here it is showing the error message. Apart from having some logic, every method or the function will can return a value. It is having the ability to return a value, but here I don't want to return any value, so I am writing void. Okay, now the error has been gone. So here I don't want to return any values. This is what is a function is, and I have to think that the logic of this method is changing from object to object, or it is being same for all the objects. Or so here the method, I am saying that okay, the print method, okay, here it may be it will be changing from object to object. I don't want to make it as static. I wanted to make it as non-static. So if I am not mentioning static over here, it will be treated as non-static. And I wanted to use this method in my entire project, so public. Here's the same way how you have declared a property or the variable. In the same way, we have declared a method. Okay. Now we can see how this main method is public static void main. This is the method name, and this method will not return any value, so it has been written void. And uh, for calling means the logic of this method is same for all the objects within this student class, so it is written as static. And this main method can be used in my entire project, so it is written as public. So this is what public static void main means. Okay, later we'll be discussing about the main method. So this means that here we have defined a class. Class contains some methods, sorry, some data members. Data members are the variables. Okay, so may, name and marks are the variables over here, and this is a print function. Okay, first I don't want to use a object over here. So first thing I wanted to make this all these things as static, and after that I will be explaining you about if it is a non-static variable, how we will call those methods, and how we will call those variables. So first we will make it as static. Okay, static. I am making this also as static, and I am making this also as static. Okay, and here the logic is, one second. Here the logic is to print the values. So for printing the values, what is there? System.out.println SYSO. This is the shortcut. So I wanted to print name and marks. So name is equal to name is equal to, or name of the student, and this is the concatenation symbol, name. And the SYSO is the shortcut which I told you. The other shortcut SOUT, SOUT, control space. Okay, marks of student. Okay. Now, anyhow, I have written given these two as two values as non-stat sorry static. So every variable will have some value. So I may declare value over here, initialize it with some value, sorry name, or in the main function I wanted to give the values. So what I have to do, and a name is equal to some Mohan, and marks marks is equal to some 100. Okay, it is a string, that's why I have written in double quotes. Okay, here I have initializing the values. Okay, and now I have to call this method. Uh, the methods and the variables because have to be called with the class name or with the object. Okay, but it is a static, so I don't want to directly I can call it. Here directly I have not written any class name dot or object dot because they are static. No need of writing the object reference over here. So there is no object over here because these values are same for all the objects or all the students in a class. So I have written name. Okay, marks. Okay, if it is non-static variable, then I have to create an object. Okay, that is also I am going to show you. And this is how the variable declaration within a class is done, and the using of these variables is done. Static variables. Okay, and this is the definition of the static method. How you are going to define a static method within a class, and we have to call. How we are going to call it? Directly we can call it print. Directly we are calling it. We are not giving any reference of the class reference or the uh, any object reference. Directly you can call it. Now I will run it. While running, what will happen? Variables will be initialized. Then sorry, variables will be declared. Memory will be stored for these variables. In the main function, uh, it will be initialized with the values. The variables will be initialized with the values, and now after that, it will call the print function. It will go here and it will print the. It will execute both the statements and the name and the marks will be printed. Okay, we'll see how it is. For running it, what we have to do is here we can go run either or otherwise run. Sorry, run run or control F11. Okay, directly use control F11. So do you have a console over here? For we don't have a console. I can't see any console over here. First, take one console. Windows, show view, console. Okay, got it. Some console. Uh, Now I will run it. This is a console. Run. Okay. The console name of the student is Mohan. Marks is okay. This has been printed. Okay. Then what we learned is what is a class. Actually, what? One second. Here it is saying that. mm, okay. It is a collection of data members and the methods. Okay. Okay. Each and every method on Java must be defined inside the class. We have defined the method inside the class. Okay. This is also true. And the definition of the class must be incorporated within the brackets. So here the definition, sorry, here the definition of the class is incorporated within the brackets. Okay, this is the open bracket, this is the closed bracket. All those coding is done within the class only. We have declared the data types. We have what you call you have and we define the methods inside the class. So that is also true. Um, and a class is a keyword which is used for developing programmer defined data types and to develop the real world. Okay, so here we are saying that the class is a keyword which is used to for developing programmer defined data types. Program how a class can be called as data type. So that we are going to see. See here, the class is a keyword and this is the class name. Okay, then here we have not used the class as a data type. Data type means int, string, these are all the data types. But here we have not used any uh, class as a data type. So why you have not used it? Because directly you are calling the variables, directly you are calling the methods here. Why you are directly calling it? Because they are static methods. Okay, that's why we have not created any object and we are not means the value of the here we are the value of the variables are static or the value of the variables are not going to change by object to object. Okay, so we have taken it static. That's why you have not used any object over here. That's why you are not seeing, we are not we are unable to say that class is a data type. Now you will see. Okay, we will be taking this as non-static. So if you remove the static word keyword over here, it will become a non-static. Okay, so here it is going here it is showing a directly we can't call a non-static variable. So I will delete it. So I am taking a method also non-static. Directly we can't call this method. Now it is showing the error message. Now I will delete this one also. Now they are non-static variables or non-static method. Okay, this means that the name and the marks of the student class will be changing from object to object. So first we have to create an object to say that okay, these marks and these names belongs to this object. First I will create two objects. Two students means I am creating two students. Okay, so how to create an object? First I will be uh, writing the right hand side, that is the new is the keyword for creating an object. Uh, I'm not going depth into the object subject. There is a separate video I'm going to make for object. Um, okay, new. Then I have to write the class name. Class name. What is the class name over here? Class name is student. So student, and open and close brackets. This is actually is the default constructor. Okay, I am going to tell you all those things, but at present you remember that we have to write new, and this is the student class name, that is the class name, and with open and close brackets, which is the default constructor. We have to write in this way, and before that is equal to, and here I am going to give the some variable name. Let it be student1, stu1. But this is a variable saying that this is a variable which is going to handle the variables, I mean string and the integer as well as the methods inside the class. This is a class variable. Okay, so here this is a class. I am saying that this is a class variable. This means that the data type will be class name. What is the class name over here? So in this way, student is a class, but here it is acting as a data type for stu1. That's what. But this stu1 is a user defined or user defined or this what you call, sorry, this student is a user defined data, is acting as a user defined data type because Here the variables and the methods are created by the user, and depending on this only, uh, this student will be this student actually is the data type which will be representing the stu1. So here the student is the data type, or the student which is the class is acting as a data type, okay, which will be holding the values of stu1. What the values of stu1? Because what stu1 contains? Stu1 contains name, marks, and print method. Okay, so this is an object, or stu1 is the student, first student. Then I am creating the second student. How you are going to create an object? Is equal to, sorry, or new class name, sorry, student. Okay, before that, this is another student, stu2. This is another student which I am creating, and the class name will be student. Okay, the other two objects means two students I have created. Okay, the student name will be different, the student marks will be different, and this student name will be different and marks will be different. So here, that's why I have not written static over here. They are non-static, means the values will be changing from student to student or object to object within the class. Okay, and here I have not written static over here, means the logic of this method will be changing from object to object or student to student within this student class. Okay, and how it is going to work and all those things I will be telling you about the object creation and all those things. But this is how student means object will be created, and here this is not the actually this method. This is a constructor or the default constructor. Okay, at present you learn that, okay, for creating an object, first you have to write the new and the class name with open and closure brackets, and thus the value should be assigned to some variable, and the data type of that variable should be the class name. Okay, that way you have to remember. Okay, now, okay, it is good I have created the students over here, I have created the objects over here, but how to give the values to the variables? So how to give the values? So I have to get the reference. I have to, okay, uh, first this is the object or this is the student. First I wanted to enter the name and marks of this student. So I have to take the reference of the student, stu1 dot, see here, marks, or the first I name. Name will be same Mohan. One second.
Here I am giving the name Mohan. Okay, and stu1 dot marks. Marks will be suppose some 50. Okay, this is for stu1. In the same way, I'm going to give the values of the variables for stu2. Sorry, stu2 dot name is equal to some Satya, some name, stu2 dot marks, some 100. Okay, this is how we are going to uh, declare or initialize a non-static initialize the values for the non-static variables. Okay, this is how it is. Okay, then how we are going to uh, use these values over here? Okay, here which name we are going to print? here uh, so here I wanted to print both the things, not one thing. So I have to write name means first I wanted to name of student one or name of STU1. What is the name of STU1? Mm, or student one I will be saying. Sorry, STUD student one, which is STU1 dot, one second, STU1 dot. It is not showing it. Why? Because here this STU1, see, the STU1 is defined within this method. Which method? Main method. But this is another function. Okay, it doesn't know STU1. It doesn't know this um, what you called this variable, or this variable is defined. Where it is defined? It is defined in this method. So the scope of this variable will be within this method only. So I can't use this variable here. Okay, so what I have to do? I have to define this variable globally. So here I have to define, not here within the function. So what I will do is I am going to define this here. Okay, and I'm taking this out. And the same way I am going to define this one here. I'm taking this out. So here it is showing some okay, one second. Here it is static or non-static. So it is a static. So, and I wanted to use this in my entire project public. Okay, so now if you say one dot marks name, it is okay now. Now what is the error over here? STU, it is not STU. Is it one second? Okay, plus is not there. Sorry. Okay, in the same way, STU1 dot marks. Okay, for the other student also the same thing. 2, 2. STU2 dot name, 2 dot marks. Okay, now I will call this method. For calling this method, this is a non-static method. I'll make it as static. It is better. It will be so complicated. So that I am calling it as print. I will run this one. Here, what I have done is I have created, I have means taken the non-static variables and I am assigning values to the non-static means values to the non-static variables means I have created an object. Two objects I have created, but uh, object variables I have declared globally, and I have assigned values inside the non-static variables here. Okay, I am printing. Means I am using those variables inside the print method for printing, and I'm calling this print method the main method. Okay, that's what it is. Means this is simple means example which I am telling you that how what it means to show that like, how classes what class contains. Okay, I will run this one. Okay, we got name of the student one is Mohan, name of the student one, marks of the student one is 50, and we got this output. Okay, we got this one. But here I have not used. I have used the only the default constructor to make it as simple. But if you are using a parameterized constructor, these values we can pass as a parameters. Okay, that we will learn afterwards. Okay, okay. Have a good day.